Shalom, shalom. Call halal la Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Wuha, Raha, Kodash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, our elders, and our teachers, the men of great millstone. To you I say shalom. It's your brother Amraya, and let's get into it. We have an article here from RT News, a website I like to frequent. Okay. And the title of the article says dollar losing reserve status at stunning pace, Verizon CEO. The U.S. currency share at global reserve, Slovakia. The U.S. currency's share of global reserves fell 10 times faster in the last year than in the previous 20, and it means 20 years. Western sanctions against Russia have accelerated the move away from the U.S. dollar worldwide. Stephen Jin, the CEO of London-based asset management company Verizon, warned on Tuesday. The dollar's share in global reserve fell 10 times faster last year than over the past 2 decades, Jin said. As cited by Bloomberg, the process began as some countries started to look for alternatives after seeing Russia's assets frozen abroad and the country cut off from the global financial messaging system known as SWIFT. And Slovakia, I'm still under the weather. I don't mean I'm clogged up, so if I sound funny, that's why. All right. Adjusting for wild exchange rate fluctuations last year, the dollar has lost roughly 11% of its market share since 2016, and the double amount since 2008. Okay. It goes on to say the dollar suffered a stunning collapse in 2022 in its market share as a reserve currency, presumably due to the muscular use of sanctions. And that brings up a set of scriptures, which I already have pulled up here, because all of this is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh is whom you ignorantly call God. And those sanctions spoken of here, right? Those sanctions are pits. They're a system formed by the so-called white man to throw his opponent in and keep them at a disadvantage. But we are about to find out what in fact he has done to himself. This is Psalms chapter 7. I'll begin at verse 10. My defense is of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which saveth the upright in heart. And if you know anything about the so-called white man, the nation of Esau, Edom, they are not upright in heart. Many scriptures have told us this. It says, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. And in this case, America would be calling themselves trying to persecute the rest of the world for not bowing to its will. Okay, and all they've done is make them get together, China, India, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, etc., etc. The nations have gotten together against this whore. Okay? And that's the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 13. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Verse 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity. He's covered with sin. And he have conceived mischief. Sanctions. They perform coups and these operations such as destroying the Nord Stream pipeline, etc., etc. I mean, this whore is full of sin. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and he have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and it is fallen into the ditch which he made. So America has fell into the ditch which it have made, because it tried to sanction other nations and use a dollar as a weapon against them. And what in fact has happened is the chickens have come home to roost. His own plan backfired, and now it's shooting him in the leg. But this is all by design, because the dollar is to collapse so that they may bring in the MOT to the B, which is the C hip. And that's going to be coming down the pipeline very soon, okay? They're already implementing their NWO, and one of the things that they must do is tag and track all of its slaves, okay? And that will include the C-hip. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you have that C-hip. It's just that simple, y'all. So prepare yourselves. Psalm 7, behold, verse 14, behold, he travaileth with iniquity. He's covered in sin, and have conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pate. I will praise Yahweh according to his righteousness, and I will sing the praise to the name of Yahweh, the Most High. Call halal la Yahweh ba'ashem Yahushai. This is about to end, y'all. It's going to happen so fast it'll make your head spin. We're going to finish out here. This is Zephaniah chapter 1. And I'll read verse 10 because this is where we are at. It says, verse 9 actually, in the same day also will I punish all those that leap on the threshold, which fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. Right, the so-called white man, that's all he has done. Okay? Verse 10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. This bitch is about to crash, y'all, and it's going to be heard around the world. This financial system is its ultimate downfall. These sanctions, these pits that they tried to dig for other nations, has come back to backfire on them, and now has weakened its status in the world. So prepare for World War III too. That's also about to have to crack off because of the decisions that have been made by the so-called white man who ruleth in the world today, has brought him to desolation. And this is the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Not only is he going to come back to take the so-called white man out of power, but he's going to embarrass and shame him on his way out. Okay? Verse 11, how you inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, and all they that bear silver are cut off. It's coming, y'all. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees. They say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. And that is you, nation of Israel. You watch all these videos, you take this as some type of entertainment or joke, and you are being warned by the prophets to prepare your houses for the return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. And Yahushai is the one coming to take the throne. That is the king selected by the Most High himself. If you're not prepared, if you're not right, if you're not ready for his return, you will find yourself on the wrong end of the Lord's indignation or his anger. Shalom.